Good morning, Freedom Village. I'm Noah.
And I'm Ashley.
And welcome to your favorite morning show where we bring you all the latest news and updates from our wonderful retirement community right here in beautiful Holland, Michigan.
That's right, Noah. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee in the bistro or enjoying the newspaper in the atrium, we're here to kickstart your week with a smile and a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely, Ashley. And speaking of fun, we've got a jam-packed episode lined up for you today. From community events and activities to heartwarming stories and maybe even a few surprises along the way.
And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with all the important news and announcements from right here at Freedom Village.
So, grab your cup of joe, settle in, and get ready to start your week the Freedom Village way.
Stick around, folks. The Monday morning show starts right now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're having a fantastic start to your day.
Welcome back to the Monday morning show. How are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well.
Are ya?
I am a little bit tired from this past weekend, though. The annual bazaar was such a hit, but wow, that is a lot of work.
I feel you. We are probably all running on a little extra coffee this morning, but seeing the whole community come together makes it so worth it. There's such a great energy and even better people. A huge thank you to everyone who came out and made it such a success.
Absolutely. We are definitely feeling the post-bazaar exhaustion, but let's keep that energy up because November is just beginning and we have a packed schedule coming up.
That's right. November means Veterans Day, Thanksgiving prep, cozy sweaters.
Maybe.
Yeah, if it ever gets cold. And the start to the holiday season. Let's first dive into what's happening this week because it's a good one.
On Wednesday, November 6th at 4:45 p.m., we are kicking things off with dinner out at the Red Rock Grill. It should be a fantastic time. Who doesn't love a fancy dinner out midweek?
And then on Thursday, November 7th at 7:15, it is time for some live music. We've got Fiddling Around with Luke Panning live in the auditorium. Luke always brings such great energy and talent, and it's definitely something you won't want to miss.
That is so true. And moving to Friday, November 8th, we've got our bus trip to Turkeyville at 9:30. We are in for quite a treat with the Winter Wonderettes. It's a holiday show with 60s versions of all kinds of Christmas classics. And it is $65 for the trip, which includes the bus, the show, and a turkey dinner with all the trimmings.
That sounds like a good deal.
I think so.
If that isn't festive enough for you, on Saturday evening at 7 p.m., we are heading to the Knickerbocker Theater to see the H2 dancers do their performance of the Nutcracker Suite. Tickets are only $10, and it is going to be magical.
Magical. I loved the Nutcracker as a kid. Oh, so fun. And to wrap up the week, on Sunday, November 10 at 2:30, we have a beautiful afternoon lined up for free at 3. This performance features two duo lyrico with Nancy Steltman on cello and Robert Byrons on piano. Nothing beats a Sunday afternoon with great music.
So there's something else that just happened.
Oh?
And some people love it, and others not so much.
Oh.
Daylight savings time.
Yes, the time change. For those who might need a reminder, we just turned our clocks back an hour, so you get to enjoy a little bit of extra sleep.
Yeah, hopefully everyone rested up Saturday night. And now, daylight savings time started as a way to conserve energy during World War I by making better use of daylight hours. And the idea was that having more daylight in the evening, people would use less electricity.
Interesting. I always thought it was for farming reasons.
That's what I've always heard as well, but
Okay.
Probably plays into both.
I bet it does. And nowadays, opinions have shifted quite a bit. Some argue it disrupts our natural sleep cycles, affects our health, and even increases the risk of accidents right after the time changes.
Absolutely. There's a huge push to eliminate the time change altogether, with some states and countries already moving away from it.
So, what do our community members think? Let's check in with some familiar faces in today's Village View segment.
All right, well, welcome back, ladies. Hopefully you're all very well rested from the extra hour of sleep you received this weekend. Today we're going to talk about daylight savings time. It was put into place during World War I to save energy and get more use out of our natural daylight. However, there has been a push to do away with daylight savings time, citing that the negatives far outweigh the positives. What are your thoughts?
I always said it didn't make one bit of difference to me. I would adjust, my body would adjust. The last 2 times that we've done this back and forth, it took me a couple of days to get my body into the sync on what I was doing. It was, I don't know.
And back in the 40s when I was a young girl and it went in, it was always my understanding that it was changed so that the farmers would be able to have their crops. They could work later and take care of their crops more. It wasn't so much, the other thing. And with that, I agree. But to me, it doesn't make one bit of difference. You're either going to have, if you're a farmer today, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning instead of 6. You do the adjusting anyway, and just leave it alone. And then sometimes you find that you get confused because you adjust your time, but somebody else doesn't. And so therefore you're really kind of off kilter. So to me, I would just say leave it alone. Let nature be its own self and just keep the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we should try to control everything. I mean, farmers can now get equipment where they could put a computer in and it runs around the corner and does what it needs to do, and all you do is sit there and watch. So the need isn't there anymore. We don't need 4 hours after dinner to have daylight for sports, etc. We all have stadiums with lighted fields, and I just don't agree with it. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
It takes 3 or 4 days to acclimate. So you do it in the spring, and then you redo it in the fall. I just don't see the sense of it. I just wish, like Sandy said, leave it alone and just let nature, let the sun come up when it comes up and go down when it goes down, and just enjoy it and relax. And
and the other thing going, with that, when you would, spring ahead, you jump ahead. I mean, I never liked it being that late. When I had young kids, I wanted them to go to bed. I didn't want it to be light at 10 o'clock at night.
Right, exactly. And I don't remember that time change when I was a kid. And we've been doing it since World War I. I only remember
World War II.
No.
2.
Wasn't it 1948, didn't you
I thought
say?
she said
World War
1.
Oh, World War I.
is what my research said.
And what year did you have?
I didn't have a year.
Oh, you didn't have a year. Okay.
And the war, World War II, was when I was born. I was born in 42. So it went from, 41 to 46, I think. I don't remember dealing with it when we were kids. The thing I don't like is when the school children get up and it's pitch black and they're standing out there trying to catch a bus. I don't agree with that. I think you leave it the same, and then you adjust your school day to fit it and don't have to readjust it every 6 months.
Yeah, the past couple weeks have been pitch black
It's
when the
pitch
bus would pick my
black
daughter
in the
up.
morning. And in this day and age, I would not allow my child to stand out there alone. I would have done it when we were younger because life was simpler then. You didn't have a lot of distractions or a lot of things to worry about. But now, no, switching it every 6 months, I disagree with. Should be light when the children go to school and light when, you can go to work in the dark, and I did when I was working, and you don't get out till dark.
Right, but that's a short day.
Right.
That's the shortest day of the year.
Right. But see, I disagree with
December
time
21st.
change. And the other thing I disagree with is how long it's taken them to get around to do something about it. What is going on? They've been talking about doing it every year for the last 5 or 6. Nobody does anything.
Well, probably a lot of things. Remember, we
Right.
had a trauma with COVID. That
Yes.
shut everything down. That threw everything off. So get on with it now and let nature take its course.
That's how I think too.
Mhm.
Many businesses that have to make the adjustment. And if we just stayed at one spot.
I mean, you can adjust your time. You open your business if it's going to be the same time every day of the year, because you already know what's going to happen as far as daylight. And
I don't know how many businesses really rely on what the daylight is doing.
No.
but
I
it
don't
wouldn't
think they
make
would
any
change.
difference
No.
how late you were open or how early
Yeah.
you opened
Yeah.
if it was always the same time.
Hmm.
You know, if it got light at 7 o'clock, you make your decision from that point. But it stays that way year round. So you're not jumping and reacting to a change. I do
It would
think,
stay that way year
Right.
round. Remember,
It would
has
stay
been in
that
our
way.
lifetime. Yeah, it would stay that way.
Hmm.
yeah, it would be steady all the time. You wouldn't have to be constantly jockeying or thinking, oh, in 6 months, I got to go back, you know.
Well, and you're in Florida quite often. When we were there, I would often call my parents up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Well, Florida's here, Michigan's over here. So when it was dark here, it wasn't here. You know,
Yeah.
it affects your area of your country too, on whether it's dark. You know.
Yeah, your time zones. I mean,
Yeah, but see, our time zone was adjusted originally to keep us part of Michigan. We technically are in the next time zone. That's why when you go down the straight line.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh.
who's got all this power
But
adjusting?
the UP is on
Somebody
the
who should
same,
use it for something
even
better
though
than
they're
that.
over here.
Well, that's what I'm
And
saying.
then
Yeah,
we're all on the same.
because they're Michigan.
Yeah.
But if you were drawing the
If you're in
line
Wisconsin-
of the thing, then what you find is technically on a line we
Right.
belong in the next time zone.
Because Wisconsin's in the next time zone. They're
Yeah.
Well,
different.
you know, it's
Even
not
though,
so.
you know,
They're
It's not a
geographically the same.
big jump if you're going to call somebody in Colorado or call somebody in California. But when your clock is moving around and Indiana's an hour off from what you're off, and you have friends in Indiana, well, are we meeting at 3 or are we meeting at 2? Or when they leave to go home, can I get where I need to be before nighttime? I mean, it just makes an awful lot of confusion as far as I'm concerned.
But you're still going to have that,
yeah.
whether
you're right.
you don't have the daylight saving time or not. You're still going to
Yeah, I don't think we can do rid of time zones. That might
No.
get a little
Oh, no.
hairy.
No, but that is something we're used to.
Hmm.
You know, California, Rose Bowl, we're familiar with that. But time in the morning and time at night, darkness and evening, and when the sun comes up, should be the same. Not have to switch around twice a year.
Yep, in Florida it gets dark at 4:30 in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom lives in Boston, and they're expecting now it to be totally dark by 4:30. Today it's going to be dark by 5:30
It's going
here.
to be dark by 5:30.
little
And that's
editing
because we're
done.
on the end. See?
We're on the
That's
end.
why the whole thing doesn't work, because we
Mhm.
can't keep it straight.
Can't keep it straight. All right, well, ladies, thank you again, and may this be our last daylight savings change.
Oh, I hope
Well.
so. I'll vote for that.
All right.
Okay.
And I will too.
Yes, let's all go vote tomorrow and just write in end daylight savings time.
Okay, put that on your ballot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, Margaret, and Sandy. It is always great to hear from you.
I couldn't agree more. I love hearing what those ladies think. And that wraps it up for today's show. We hope you enjoyed it and are ready for a fantastic November.
I know I'm ready for a fantastic November.
Me too. I am ready to put up my Christmas tree.
It's almost time.
It is.
Have a wonderful week, everyone, and until next week, that's Ashley,
That's Noah.
and this has been Monday Morning. We'll see you next week. Bye.